In just the last few days, U.S. officials have seen increased activity of North Korean submarines. They've also seen a test of a part of the system that's critical to launch missiles from submarines. All of this in the immediate aftermath of an ICBM launch from North Korea that has rattled the world. U.S. President Donald Trump responded by saying that the U.S. will handle it, but he hasn't elaborated as to how the U.S. will handle the mounting North Korean crisis. Looking to China has been the cornerstone of President Trump's policy in terms of dealing with North Korea, but it now seems that China and the U.S. are farther apart than ever when it comes to working together to put an end to this growing crisis. U.S. officials, including the president himself, has said that China has failed to use its leverage, its economic leverage in the region, to rein in North Korea, to try and put an end to its nuclear program. At the same time, Beijing is now pushing back against Washington, D.C. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs saying that China didn't create this problem with regard to North Korea. And now China's ambassador to the UN calling on both Pyongyang and D.C. to work to lower the tension on the region. Yes, they have condemned Pyongyang for the launch of another ICBM, but they say that rhetoric from D.C. isn't helping the matter either, specifically pointing to this often repeated phrase that all options are on the table. That's something that President Donald Trump has said, that the Vice President has said, that the U.S.'s ambassador to the UN has said, and that the Secretary of State has also said.
Meantime, the time for talk is over. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley sending a clear message to North Korea following the rogue regime's latest nuclear test. China and Russia also putting their own military might on display, looking to catch Washington's attention.
Secretary of State Rex Tillerson sent a clear message to North Korea on Tuesday, saying the United States wants to talk. The United States will test an intercontinental ballistic missile less than a day after that announcement. North Korea conducted its own successful missile launch on Friday night. That missile landed in the Sea of Japan, close to where an Air France passenger plane had flown minutes earlier. Experts believe it had the range to hit major cities in the U.S. In response to the launch, the U.S. flew strategic bombers over the Korean peninsula, and President Trump expressed disappointment in China. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson addressed the issue at the State Department on Tuesday. Let's take a listen to some of that.
We have reaffirmed our position towards North Korea, that what we are doing, we do not seek a regime change. We do not seek the collapse of the regime. We do not seek an accelerated reunification of the peninsula. We do not seek an excuse to send our military north of the 38th parallel. And we're trying to convey to the North Koreans, we are not your enemy, we're not your threat, but you are presenting an unacceptable threat to us.
All right, so Secretary Tillerson trying to make it clear there the U.S. does not seek an excuse to use military action against the North. But now, does the U.S. have that excuse? If not, under what circumstances could there be a justification?
Well, I think Tillerson was drawing a distinction between military regime change and other possible options. Many experts think one of the only things that might trigger North Korea to use nuclear weapons is if it believes its regime was at risk, if the United States was going to invade and overthrow it. So I think Tillerson was trying to reassure them on that front. But serious experts in Washington now are talking about other possible options of using our missile defenses to intercept the next North Korean missile test. And some are even talking about conducting strikes in North Korea on the next North Korean tests. If North Korea actually attacked the United States or its allies, I think there should be little doubt that the United States would have an overwhelming and effective military response.
Well, what would be the risks for an attack on the North?
Well, North Korea has one of the more capable militaries on Earth. We think that they have nuclear weapons, possibly already capable of reaching U.S. allies and bases in the region. They have large amounts of artillery on the border that would be capable of holding at risk Seoul and U.S. forces there, the major city of a U.S. ally. And they have a large standing army, so a major war with North Korea could be the largest war the United States has been in since the last Korean War 60 years ago.
Could get in there. Oh, we can't? Well, I mean, like, I'm gonna go get a photo, and then we do the jack, and we go, like, you pump in the jack, and we do it. So I get the elevator crew and a reach pump out, so we get up here. Yeah, I can drive the reach pump. What is the mechanics from back here in Portugal? They asked me.
Early chopper watch release.
Yeah, look at that way. Yeah. Come forward, come towards me, G. Alright. Slow it down.